When Robert turned 72, mornings became his favorite time of day. He liked waking before the sun, padding to the kitchen, and pouring himself a tall glass of chilled grapefruit juice. "It keeps me sharp," he told his wife Marion, who preferred tea. For decades, this ritual felt harmless, even healthy. But one morning, while visiting their daughter in another city, Robert fainted at the breakfast table. His speech slurred, his right arm weak. An ambulance rushed him to the hospital, where doctors confirmed he'd had a minor stroke. Luckily, it was not fatal, but it was a terrifying warning. At the hospital, Robert met Dr. Sullivan, a neurologist with a calm but firm voice. After reviewing Robert's habits, Dr. Sullivan sat at his bedside and said, "Mr. Daniels, as a neurologist, I need to warn you. Never drink grapefruit juice in the morning. For seniors, it can triple the risk of stroke." Robert stared at him in disbelief. "Grapefruit juice? But it's fruit. It's supposed to be good for me." Dr. Sullivan explained carefully. Grapefruit interacted with dozens of medications, especially those prescribed to seniors for blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart disease. It blocked enzymes in the liver responsible for breaking down drugs, making them linger at dangerously high levels in the blood. The result could be excessive blood pressure drops, irregular heartbeat, or, as in Robert's case, a clot that triggered a stroke. Robert remembered the pills lying neatly in his kitchen cabinet: statins for cholesterol, a beta blocker for his heart, and a blood thinner. He had taken them faithfully, always with his morning grapefruit juice. "I was washing down my medicine with poison," he whispered. Dr. Sullivan nodded. "Not poison, but a dangerous mix. Grapefruit magnifies the effect of your medicine until it becomes harmful. And the risk is highest in the morning when your body is already under pressure adjusting from sleep to activity." Marion reached for Robert's hand. "So what should he drink?" she asked. "Water," Dr. Sullivan said firmly. "Start the day with hydration, not interaction. Herbal teas, warm lemon water, even black coffee in moderation. Those are safer, but grapefruit juice or even fresh grapefruit must go." The message hit hard. For years, Robert had thought of his juice as the secret to his energy. Now he realized it had nearly stolen his life. When he returned home, Robert cleared the refrigerator of grapefruit juice cartons. He told Marion to stop buying grapefruits at the market. Then he sat at the kitchen table, determined to learn what other drinks posed risks for seniors like him. He discovered that energy drinks were another silent threat. Marketed for vitality, they contained high doses of caffeine and stimulants that spiked blood pressure and strained the heart. For seniors, one can in the morning could trigger arrhythmias or strokes. Robert shuddered, recalling how his grandson once offered him a sip for fun. He also learned that very strong black coffee on an empty stomach could be risky. Though coffee in moderation had benefits, a heavy jolt of caffeine before breakfast caused blood pressure to surge sharply. In seniors with fragile arteries, the sudden spike raised the chance of vessel rupture. Robert remembered the days he drank coffee before eating and made a note to always pair it with food. And then there were alcoholic morning drinks, rare but not unheard of among retirees who thought a morning pick-me-up was harmless. Alcohol thinned the blood too much when combined with certain medications, making strokes or bleeds more likely. Robert never drank in the morning, but he underlined the warning in his notebook. The lesson was clear. Mornings were delicate hours. The body was shifting gears, blood pressure naturally rising, hormones flooding the system. Any drink that interfered with medication or circulation was a gamble. Robert shared his story at the local senior center. Standing before a group of men and women his age, he lifted a simple glass of water. "This saved me," he said. "I used to think grapefruit juice was the healthiest start. Then I learned it tripled my stroke risk because of my medicines. I don't want anyone here to make the same mistake." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Several people admitted they also drank grapefruit juice daily. One woman whispered that her husband, who had high cholesterol, loved half a grapefruit with breakfast. Another said she often mixed grapefruit juice with her blood pressure pills. Robert urged them to talk to their doctors, to check their medications, and to swap grapefruit for safer choices. "It's not about fear," he said. "It's about knowing the truth. We can't afford to gamble with strokes at our age." The change spread quietly through their community. Grapefruit sales at the local market dipped. Water pitchers appeared at breakfast tables. Seniors began comparing herbal tea flavors instead of juice brands. Robert himself felt the difference within weeks. He replaced his morning juice with warm lemon water. His energy steadied, his digestion improved, and his follow-up tests showed his medications working at safe levels. More importantly, he no longer feared that breakfast might be a hidden threat. One evening, his grandson asked, "Grandpa, do you miss grapefruit juice?" Robert smiled. "Not as much as I'd miss being here with you. Some things aren't worth the risk." Marion squeezed his shoulder, proud of the wisdom he now carried. For Robert, the lesson was not just about juice, it was about awareness. Age demanded vigilance, and small habits could tip the balance between health and harm. He often repeated Dr. Sullivan's words to friends. Never drink grapefruit juice in the morning if you're a senior. It can triple your stroke risk. But he also added his own. The safest glass is the one filled with water. It gives life, never takes it away. Years later, Robert still rose early, still cherished the quiet of morning. But instead of grapefruit juice, he poured water into a tall glass, lifted it to the window, and whispered a quiet toast to health, to second chances, and to the simple wisdom that saved his life. Word count 1108.